Remember the 5th of November, when the king should have been blown up. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. I'm Steve-O the Human. I know this may sound like a very quiet, somber stream, but I'm actually feeling pretty tired, and that's why it sounds so somber. I want to have another stupid, dumb stream, alright? I'm not going to have my super serious stream until tomorrow. Right now we're going to have our usual garbage crap. So, who here wants to write a novel with me? Unless you're Callum, and I just know, you just want to be my friend, and you look upon me as a senpai because reasons. You know what? I don't want a sycophant. I want someone who writes a novel at the end of the day. But hopefully we'll be able to meet our quota today. And listen to a podcast this time. I'm going to listen to the video for Good Bad or Bad Bats episode of After Last Season. Hopefully y'all will appreciate that. But anyway, it looks like I'm alone this stream again. But oh well. Wait, you know that one? Sorry, we're having some one person doing a bunch of dumb crap that isn't paying attention to the stream difficulties. Please bear with me. But I am about to start this up again in less than 2 minutes. Anyway, what am I? Oh, yeah. Alright. Now I wanted to know what I wanted to know. Is there a good place that serves breakfast at the ass crack of dawn around here? Between here and work, to be exact. Anyway, I gotta actually work on this novel. All right. And then now I'm going to have you imagine some things. And I want you to picture them in your mind's eye so that I can see them. Joe Jones jumped from his seat and ran to the entertainment system. A movie so bad it hardly and ran to the entertainment setup.
There's cardboard.
There's cardboard. I see it everywhere. I see amorphous cardboard.
But it's not Ben and Arthur.
It's not Ben and Arthur.
No.
No, I see it too. It's not Ben and Arthur. Now imagine a movie that has to to have been directed by a serial killer. Now, a movie so insane and unintelligible that it rides the line between
Wait, what's
reality
this?
and insanity. Are you picturing the movie?
It's
Do
horrible.
you see it?
Yes, it is.
This is horrible.
I see it.
Oh God. Oh God, it's after last season. No.
First off, fuck all of you who recommended this movie.
Not gonna lie, I texted Brian and said, I hate our fans.
I wrote, I'm getting cancer, or this is cancer.
Yes.
Hello and welcome back to the 38th episode of Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad Show, where we watch terrible movies, and truly, has the sentence never been more apt, terrible movies. I tell you, if you should too, you shouldn't.
No.
I am your host, Mr. Brian Shelligo, joined by as always, my other host, Scott Hinton. Kyle, it's a fan request episode. We've gotten maybe our most requested, I don't know, other than O'Neill there. It's probably our.
We just broke the illusion.
Everybody knows. We get tweets all the time. People see it back there. But
Why?
probably our most. You've never seen that? Yeah, not lots of people know this. Probably our most requested movie other than a Neil Breen film. I would think, other than I. And I had watched the trailer a long time ago, and I was writing that line of like, I'm not convinced this isn't satire. Like this isn't intentionally like
Yeah.
doing a weird art project. You know
Whenever
what
I saw
mean?
the trailer, I was like, is this some sort of like bizarre like I'm not gonna say like RoboCop kind of futuristic, hypocrisy of the world,
Oh, yeah.
but somewhere in that wheelhouse.
I thought it was like some really weird student film that was like student art house film that was like, we're gonna do everything wrong because that's the new cool way to do things. You know what I mean? I thought it was like not intentionally the way it is, and
I'll give you this. It felt like a Dogma 95 film.
yeah.
Furthermore, you must not have any sounds that are recorded separately from the image. So banish your big orchestral soundtrack, your overdubbed gunshots, and your voiceover. The sounds must be real.
But after
What are
some
they
more research
talking about?
and reading some more and listening to the director and the writer and some interviews, I think this is legit.
Oh,
I think
I
this is
see.
I think this is a crazy person.
I don't say lightly. I think this person may have several diagnosed or undiagnosed mental issues, and decided to write and direct a film. Because this is incomprehensible and awful, and technically as grossly incompetent of a film as we've probably ever reviewed.
The director, his name is
Mark Regent. Which
Regent.
people speculate that's not his actual name, that it's like a screen name.
That's
Basically.
probably a smart move after this release.
Yeah, but apparently he also directed a short film that played in the New York Film Festival in like 2005 called like Medium Waves. But I couldn't find it anywhere online, but I went down a whole reading about this guy or trying to figure out what's up with this movie. So, yes, we're finally doing it, and boy, let me tell you, 90 minutes has never been so, I don't even know the right word for it, tedious.
I mean, I was Google searching shit on this while the film
Yeah.
was playing because it was
Yeah.
just that boring.
It's so boring. It's so boring, and it's so bad. And it's let's just get into it. I can't preface it anymore. But
No, we need to talk about the most important part of this. The budget for this film.
Oh yeah. Supposedly,
$5 million.
supposedly. Now, the interview I read, the guy said that they shot this in like a week, and it's shot on 35 millimeter.
I believe that. I absolutely
And the
believe
shooting
that.
budget was like under $50,000. Like when they were actually shooting, like for all this props and everything everything going on, that was like no money basically.
I want you to also keep in mind, Rock and Roll Nightmare was shot for about that.
Yeah.
So
twice the movie.
just shows you the difference.
Twice is even it's like 2,000 times the movie that this is. But supposedly that extra, that $5 million that the director insists was the budget.
Because they didn't have that Coca-Cola money.
Yeah. He got they got that after shooting for the post-production process, and somehow you'll look here and see. You tell me where that $4.9 million went into the CG and graphics and post-process for this movie. What is she doing? Because I don't see it.
We're entirely convinced that the graphic designers found this guy Mark Reed they looked at him and like, this guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and
let's go ahead and take him for all he's worth.
I think it was like a college kid who could kind of use a 3D graphics program and was like, yeah, here's some shapes. They're perfect for your movie. $4 million. Well, and I don't even. I guess we can get to now. Like the credits lists like 30 people on the graphic, and I'm like, there's 0% chance this wasn't just one person. Like it's when you look at the like you could do it in an afternoon. You could do it in an afternoon.
Now we're surmising on the grounds. Neither one of us know 3D modeling at all.
But as somebody who knew even the tiniest bit and had taken a few classes could do what's in this movie in a few days.
This is back in 2009.
It came out in 2009.
So
I
it's
don't know when
probably
they shot it.
let's say earliest 2008, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think Maya was Maya's like the most commonly used 3D rendering program that I know of, and I don't think it was even out yet. So I don't know what exactly.
But it looks like the graphics aren't dated to the mid 2000s. These look like something from
they're
the
just
mid
polygons.
90s. They're just except for the one scene where okay, let's get into it. We're just talking. We're kind of jumping around. But it's like the one scene where So, let's get into this movie. Index Square Productions are Incorporated is the name of the company that produced this film. They used to have a website. It doesn't exist anymore.
Really?
That's unfortunate. Which is how the people who've interviewed the director were able to talk to him. They found his contact information through that site and called him up, basically. So, you got a classic 45-second opening title card that's after last season gets slowly revealed for like 45
For
seconds.
no reason. There's no payoff.
It's just like the movie. It's a microcosm of the film. It's like this slowly,
if only I had known.
slowly uncovering the film, and then it doesn't mean anything.
This is an MRI machine.
Yes, then we get the great cardboard MRI machine.
I want you to keep in mind, MRI is magnetic
resonance imaging.
Yes.
I think.
What does most of that entail?
Magnets.
A fuck ton of radiation to some degree.
No, it's magnets.
Well, it's
This movie I
it
brought.
radiates in and out. Like it has to. That's how you get an image back, right?
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Well, the point being is, you're not gonna have that in a fucking living room somewhere.
No. And this is definitely
You need that
somebody's living room.
need that in a shielded room.
No, it's in they're in very specific types of places in hospitals. They're not just in a living room, and they're not made of cardboard and plastic. But this one is, and so a guy gets an MRI. Who's got Parkinson's, and it's got a twitch in his hand, which.
Can you control your shaking?
Well, I think I can control my shaking. A short one.
Spoiler: that guy's it comes back at the end of the
As
movie.
an FBI agent.
What the fuck was that? I was like, wait. All right. So he has an MRI, and then they're like, take a bunch of pictures, and like, this is when you first realize, like, oh no, this is so awful. Because he goes in the MRI machine, and then they're taking the pictures, and then while it's making the sound that an MRI makes, we just stare at blank sections of walls.
The first image is about to form.
Every single time there's a cutaway, it's just a blank section of wall.
It's just a blank section of a wall, or a chair, or a thing. Like, it's just nothing.
I'm going to take one cross section
Oh my god.
The doctor, I guess these students are they're in
They're
med
in like
school.
med students, yeah.
Okay, so they're looking over some CT or
Yeah,
some MRI scans, CT scans, whatever
yeah.
you call them, of brains.
That has schizophrenia.
And this is like what 15 minutes almost of,
Yeah.
of just talking about this.
Yeah.
And the entire time I was just like, can something happen?
Yeah.
I have some of the MRIs. We took the images of the brains of patients suffering from extreme cases of schizophrenia.
You just pull up a word processor and do the damn thing. I mean, what am I doing? This isn't some kind of special thing. This is just a plain old word processor I'm writing on.
Back and forth to Ed, who is the guy that we see killed, sitting in his apartment or whatever.
I couldn't make heads or tails of it.
It's just a guy
And
sitting in
then
a
it kept
chair.
cutting to this woman who I guess is she just there to find his body? Like that's all.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
there for?
She moves. She's like, I moved into this new apartment downtown.
That's unexpected. When'd you learn about it? I'm on the 3rd floor. I live in an apartment building on the east side of the city. It's about 50 minutes from the bridge.
And then, but she knows Ed because she calls him by name when she finds him. She goes, Ed?
Hey.
And I'm like, wait, all right, whatever. So, but we're cutting back and forth between the talk about the schizophrenia and this guy. So I thought this guy had schizophrenia. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that's the
Yeah,
setup.
no,
Like,
that was-
because he keeps hearing things and like going to check and there's nothing there.
Who is it?
And then one time he hears the thing and goes to check and gets stabbed.
This is in the film world they call it parallel action.
Yeah, parallel, yeah.
And this is two things that have nothing to do
Nothing
with
to
one
do with each
another.
other. But you think they do?
Yeah,
Like, you
that's what
think
parallel
they
action
should, yeah.
does is
Yeah.
it makes that kind of.
Yeah.
But no.
No, just this is a different story going on. But we're talking about schizophrenia.
Many of these patients hear voices inside their heads. Some hear voices that seem to be coming from across the street.
Which doesn't play into this at all.
Unless the two main characters are both schizophrenic.
Yeah, or this whole thing is a ploy to make you feel like a schizophrenic.
Well, I mean, art imitates life
Yeah.
for Mark Region.
Oh Jesus! I love she says this line when she's doing the MRI. She goes, "I gotta take one cross section. Gonna take one photo of a cross section."
I'm going to take one cross section. I'm going to take one photo of cross section.
Thanks.
Just repeats it like.
Thanks for telling me that.
Said it wrong and then says it again. And it's yeah. I think a lot of this is there wasn't dialogue, or like there kind of was, and they definitely a lot of the times weren't given direction on what to do because 90% of this movie is shots of people in a room looking around. Like this, and then nothing happening, and then going, Craig? Like that's the whole fucking movie. Alright, and this is where I could tell like 15, I'm not even 15 minutes in, I'm like 10 minutes in, and I wrote, okay, I can already tell I'm going to constantly fluctuate back and forth between nobody is possibly as incompetent as the person who made this film to make a movie this bad. So that it has to be intentionally satire or intentionally bad. But then I also, on the other side, I'm like, if that's the case, nobody's that brilliant to make such a terribly bad movie. Like, I can't decide if this person is either the most brilliant filmmaker ever or so incompetent as to not be believed. Like, and I think it's the latter. Former latter.
Definitely ladder.
Former latter.
Another thing is the roommate for this girl. Like they have a scene where they introduce her and they
Yeah.
introduce the foreign exchange student friend or whatever.
I don't know much before that. My mother didn't go to the details. She spent most of her early years in a small town.
I can go as far back as my grandfather. He grew up in Reno.
But they have this whole discussion and dialogue with them, and you think they're building up something to do with their characters. Oh, nothing. No, nothing.
What did he do in William?
He became a carpenter.
Well, my father also grew up in a small town. He stayed in his town until he was 15.
I do love how one woman's like, oh, I like your new radio alarm clock that you got.
And it's just, and this,
It's a radio with like a clock taped onto it.
Wow, it's a nice radio clock.
Buttons on my old one weren't working anymore, so.
and I was like, okay, again, now that seems intentionally stupid. I don't. I also, and here's the thing where like so many conversations and lines don't go anywhere, don't mean anything. The guy Ed who's in that room, he calls the library before he gets stabbed, and it's irrelevant. It's completely he just calls and goes, library reserve section, please.
Yeah, can you transfer me to the library's reserve section? Thank you.
And then walks
You know,
up and gets
I think we're missing something here. I think Mark might actually be much older than we think he is, because that seems like something you would do before the age of the internet.
Yeah, yeah. See, I think that's true. I think that he's like an older. Yeah, the guy who's not all there. I think is what it seems like. I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but it is. This movie's fucking crazy.
All the rooms they're in, like these rooms that they're in are just mind-boggling.
It's like a warehouse. It's like
It's a warehouse, but like things
Not
are
even a
like
warehouse.
wrapped. Everything's wrapped in white, like what
like
is,
cardboard or like. Well, and a lot of them have wallpaper like taped up and
yeah,
stuff.
like their apartment. The doorway is literally just wallpaper that's wrapped around a frame.
And then it's got two little pieces of wallpaper like taped to hold it on, or it's so fucking weird. And then yeah, I don't know. It's and then there's like big like white sheets of like cardstock or on walls and stuff, and like big. Oh my god, I don't know. This movie.
Jordan is aging his hand over the weekend. He said that he's lost some sensitivity in his right hand.
So when those two students are having that conversation in that room, and then Sarah leaves, or like comes back to get a book and then leaves. They're talking in the room. It cuts to a shot of Sarah walking out to weird piano music, and then cuts back into the room, and it's the most random. I'm like,
She has some photos that show American Silent Film. There are places in
we just literally cut away from this conversation to watch her walk out the front door, and then we cut back to this conversation.
Just to give you some like just how this room doesn't make any sense. There's a scene where she goes in later in the film, and I couldn't. There's nothing to give me a frame of reference for scale.
Yeah.
And she walked in. It's like, how the fuck did that just get a lot bigger than I thought it was? What the?
This movie, if it was designed to make you feel insane, they nailed it.
It looked like a close-up of whatever they were looking at, because everything is blasted with light in this film.
Yeah, it's all
and then
just-
she walks in the frame, and I was like, what the fuck?
They just put one giant floodlight on everything in this movie. Like when they light it, they just throw a floodlight on it and then go. It's yeah, I loved your texting me. It was this is negative space and low-key light the movie. And I'm like, yep.
This is poorly shot and poorly lit.
So then we cut to Proraris, the
Whatever
company.
corporation they're
The
interning.
Yeah, that they're interning at. And when it cuts to the outside of the building to introduce it, the name of the building is on the side with like as a a video editor text, like
Yes.
they made a title and slapped it on the side of the building.
Another thing, this was all shot on 35mm film. This was edited, I guarantee fucking to
Oh,
you, on a linear
thanks.
editing system.
For the
would
good
blow my
luck.
mind, but
Because you can tell
I don't
a lot of
really
things,
need
'cause
it,
anytime
but
they need to
I'll
bring in
take it.
second layers of sound, they cut out whatever they have.
Sorry, I was like in a trance of like, what should I write next?
It could be that. It could be not linear, or it could be somebody who just doesn't know how to use a nonlinear editor, and so they literally, okay, here's the shot I have. I want. I'm gonna take it. Now I need to bring in different audio. Shop out everything that's there. Put in the new audio, and then like.
Well, that's
shop
essentially
move.
doing linear editing on a non-linear editing system.
But I think that's more, which
That's
is even
another thing.
better.
That's another thing of why I think like if it was Mark who edited this, that he's like an older guy who was
doesn't
brought up on tape to tape.
Yeah. And he's there says there's an editor that's not him, but I don't believe it.
That might be Mark's real name.
Yeah, there's so many people in the credits on this, and I'm like, there's 0% chance. The crew is like 60 people, and I'm like, no, there's no way. This was like three guys, like a guy and an assistant. When she walks into the building for her internship, Sarah does, and she says, I'm here for internship, and we just get all these shots of hallways with like third floor, second floor, arrow this way, arrow this way. I'm like,
everything's direction. In addition to that, every time they start, okay, so this is filmmaking 101. Whenever you are to start a shot, for editing purposes, you typically don't have a character start in frame.
No.
Never do that.
Well, it depends.
This happens so many times, and they cut it like 5 seconds before they're supposed to start.
Yeah. There's a lot of times where the action doesn't start yet. And then, like, the person's standing there and it cuts to them, and then they start walking.
Hi, I'm a new intern. I think I'm on the 3rd floor.
And this happens because what's his name goes into that building first, I think. Or that might be late. That's later. But it's the same thing where I don't even know his
Matthew?
name. The guy, Matthew, maybe the main guy. Where they're going. It's the one later where he's doing the second part of his study that night or whatever. And it starts with him standing there, not moving, and then he starts walking. So she shows up at this building for her internship, and what's his name's there already, and they're chit-chatting in the waiting room. And the waiting room is just a giant empty room with 2 chairs in it.
Everything's wrapped in white.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And so they're talking about how his study, she took some sort of questionnaire for him, and then now she's going to do the second half of it.
Oh,
So what do you think of questions?
voter efficacy. Alright, just tell me to vote tomorrow. I don't need a reminder.
Yeah, they probably have a second plot.
When I picked it up.
Like, they schedule it. They sit
And the
for, like,
entire
5
time, I'm
minutes.
just looking at the top left-hand corner of this scene. Why is there so much? and the entire time I'm just looking at the top left-hand corner of this scene. Why is there so much empty space there?
Yeah.
This is like the worst
Can
when
you lay
it
the
comes
phone
to
on?
the negative space in this film.
Yeah, yeah. And then so, I guess she was there. She said she was an intern, but then she goes to a class. Like right after she walks out and goes to a class. But they also discussed that the 3 people have been killed in the last 4 months. It was a serial killer, and they said Ed was found dead.
Ed Brown. Oh. The student discovered dead in downtown Florida.
And he was also a student. Like so, there's like 3 students have been killed in like the last 4 months.
There's been 3 homicides in the past 4 months.
Yeah, on the news they keep showing where the homicides took place.
And they don't seem very upset.
No, well, you know, he's Ed. He's
So
just
then-
a weird guy.
Yeah.
Always calling the library for
Yeah.
shit.
So then she goes to this class or whatever, and she walks in and sits down, and the teacher gets up in front of the class and
Oh, and then teleports.
New synapses will form.
oh yeah, yes, yes. She has a picture of a brain
yeah.
taped to a big metal frame, and she just starts talking about left brain, right brain, something or another.
In some rare cases, a very young person may have lost a great portion of one side of their brain, and the remaining side will develop new functions usually associated with the other side of the brain.
So then we meet the parents, and I thought they were Ed's parents. They're not, because they're talking about how like somebody died. It's one of the other kids who died, Craig. We find out eventually. It's his parents, and they're like cleaning up his room or something like that, where and they're like going through his stuff.
I don't think someone's gone. He mailed them to me a couple of weeks before the day he was stabbed.
And then we randomly we see them for like 5 seconds and it's irrelevant. They just talk about how their son's dead, and then we cut to a random lady who I think has no purpose in the film. And like it must be some sort of
talking about
arm
the
lady, yeah,
neurological symptoms or whatever.
arm lady. Like I'm like, what does this have to do? What is the symbolism of this woman? Because she's trying to raise her arm.
Raise your left arm as high as you can.
And our doctor put nerves from her foot into her arm.
I took a small portion of the nerves around the ankle and grafted them into your arm.
And now she can raise it a little higher.
It's that surgery that pitchers sometimes get.
Yeah, it's like Tommy John, yeah, kind of. It is Tommy John.
No. This
Well,
one's different. Like,
well, because Tommy John isn't nerves. It's,
no, that's
it's
ligaments.
Ligaments or whatever, yeah. But anyways, so then and we come back to her at the very end of the movie, and now she can raise her arm all the way, and I'm like,
Lift your left arm as high as you can, please.
I can raise my arm and perform most of the motions that I could perform before the accident.
there must be some meaning to
Thank
this.
God we have this progressive storyline
There
going.
must be some meaning to this. So Sarah or somebody or her roommate is sitting in her room talking on the phone to her mom.
Well, the last time I saw her, Lexington. Yeah, she only spoke a little bit about where she was going.
But she's having a conversation, and then she just stops and hangs up the phone.
No, Lori doesn't know her.
Time's up.
There's
All
no
right, Bing, time's up.
There's nothing.
Ugh. I don't know how many words I did, but I got a strange feeling that I actually did pretty well. Check my official word count. Ooh, yeah, 9809. That's actually pretty good. I did 803 wordsies today. That's fantastic. Anyway, no one's here. I'm gonna look up what the Dogma 95 is. Let's see. This is by Lars von Trier and Thomas Vinterberg. Dogma. Alrighty, it's pronounced dogma, not dogma. Alright, so the goals and rules. The goal of the Dogma Collective is to purify filmmaking by refusing expensive and spectacular special effects, post-production modifications, and other technical gimmicks. The filmmakers concentrate on story and the actors' performances. They believe this approach may better engage the audiences. They are not alienated or distracted by overproduction. To this end, Lars von Trier and Thomas Vinterberg produces 10 rules to any Dogma film must conform. These rules, referred to as the vow of chastity, are as follows. Shooting must be done on location. Okay, I can do that. Props and sets must not be brought in. What? If a particular prop is necessary for a story, the location must be chosen where the props must be found. The sound must never be produced apart from the images or vice versa. So... Holy crap. So, like, no BGM, which... Ugh. The camera must be handheld. Now, that's also ridiculous. Any movement or immobility attainable in the hand is permitted. Alright, the film must be in color. Special lighting is not acceptable. But the exception is that if there's too little light, you can put a lamp on top of the camera. Optical work and filters are forbidden. The film must not contain superficial action. So, what do you mean by superficial action? Okay, temporal and geographical alienation are forbidden. Now, I don't know what that means. Oh, wait, so, like, no cut-tos or meanwhiles. Alright, no cut-tos or meanwhiles. Got it. Genre movies are not acceptable. Okay, so, like... it can't have a... The film must be Academy 35mm. I get that? Oh, so it's just 35mm. Alright. So in a sense, it must be filmed, not shot on video. Come on, how come my thing can't be shot on video? And the director must not be credited. Okay, so let's do some Alan Smithy stuff. Like the no wave cinema creative movement. Alright, so what's the no wave cinema? Oh my god. Okay, so the last part about a Dogma 95 movie is that the movement proper ended because one of the rules is that genre movies are not acceptable, and when Dogma 95 became a genre, they realized, oh wait, making a Dogma 95 movie would break one of its own rules, so we can't really do that anymore. So they stopped. They stopped. Ugh. Blah. Anyway. If anything, like, I've been feeling really tired lately for some odd reason. Like, really some odd reason. I know I haven't been getting enough sleep, but blah. Alright. So I would actually be interested in doing a Dogma 95 film. Sorry, a Dogma 95 film. A dog. It would actually sound stupid and fun if, like, you really have a no-budget film to go with. But yeah. Whew. Anyway, let's see what's up with this. Festin. The Idiots. Mifune's Last Song. The King is Alive.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. Nice to see you back.
Okay, whatever. But anyway, I gotta get ready for this thing. Confirmed by Dogma 95. Shooting must be done on location. Props and sets must not be brought in. If a particular prop is necessary for the story, a location must be chosen where this prop is to be found. Some must never be produced apart from the images, or vice versa. Music must not be used unless it occurs where the scene is being shot. The camera must be handheld. Any movement or mobility attainable in the hand is permitted. The film must be in color. Special lighting is not acceptable. If there is too little light for exposure, the scene must be cut or a single lap be attached to the camera. Optical work and filters are forbidden. The film must not contain superficial action. Murders, weapons, etc. must not occur. Temporal and geographical alienation are forbidden. As say that the film takes place here and now. Genre movies are not acceptable. The film format must be Academy 35mm. The director must not be credited. Furthermore, I swear as a director to refrain from personal taste. I am no longer an artist. I swear to refrain from creating a work, as I regard the incident as more important than the whole. My supreme goal is to force the truth out of my characters and settings. I swear to do so by all means available, at the cost of any good taste and any aesthetic considerations. Okay. I see how it is. Alright, 4 minutes until we're back into go time. Anyway, what were we doing up in here? I gotta think of, oh, right. Now, sorry if this stream is dumb, but I'm hoping to get a thing or two finished by then. Might actually finish this stream early if I hit quota. Yeah, that'll be my goal, just to shut up and write and get this done by the end of the day, you know? Get a quota fulfilled, because I really, really want to go to bed. Oh. So, yeah, alright, see ya. I guess I'm alone again. I'm like pink chocolate cookie. Why am I the one who's always alone? Let's see. Shit. Alright. That'll help me, to, no, no, no. Wow, ain't that a shame. Oh well, I don't know where I'm gonna go eat breakfast tomorrow, but oh well. I can manage, I guess. What are you doing? I gotta start my timer. Ready, steady, careful, fire.
She's like, oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I may have blacked out at this point.
She's like, yeah.
Fuck you, Mom.
What is going on? And then she turns, because that's her friend shows up, and they have a conversation about the woman who's her friend from the first scene, where that's not Sarah, but is the other brunette that's friends with Sarah's roommate.
The super French person.
What are they doing again?
Whatever, yeah. Walks in
European country.
She said she was getting lunch yesterday with her friend who ordered shrimp and then had an allergic reaction to the shrimp.
What?
Had to go to the hospital.
So she starts eating, several bites of the shrimp, and all of a sudden, she feels really ill. She actually had to be rushed to the hospital.
And they're like, she's like, what? And she never was allergic to shrimp before that? And she's like, no.
She was actually diagnosed with an allergic reaction to shrimp.
And she didn't know she was allergic to shrimp?
No. She told me she's had shrimp many times before. This was the first time she developed an allergic reaction to the food.
End of scene. What was the point of all of this? What is going on, man? I don't understand. Like, they're just conversations and it made me, it started a little bit doing, and even more so, because this is even more so, the thing that I did with
American hippie in Israel.
Yeah. And questioning like is this secretly brilliant? Is there something here that I'm not?
Yeah, but
getting?
at the end of that film, there's actually something to take away from it.
Yeah, that's fair. There's no takeaway in this one. none whatsoever.
Yeah, I worked there for a few years. So. I grew up in Salisbury, like 40 miles from town. But I go by the racetrack track every time I commute downtown. Yeah, I haven't been.
So then, after they make plans, him and what's her name make plans. Sarah and the dude make plans to do the second part of his study.
Is Wednesday a good day?
Wednesday I have something in the evening. What about Tuesday evening?
So we cut to that next night or that next week or whatever. And this is the start where we're talking about, and he walks into the building, but he doesn't. He walks up to a wall.
Yes.
And then it cuts and he's in the building.
Yes.
And then it happens with the woman where she walks up to a wall.
Well, she slides her card on what is clearly a plastic piece, just a black plastic piece that has nothing.
Yeah. And then, but it's just a wall. I was like, there's no door there. What is going on?
And first, I gotta say, the money spent on the wardrobe in this film. Perfect.
White shirts.
Yep.
White button-down shirts.
I know, the weatherman said the temperature was like in the 80s.
Button-ups and blue jeans.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah. And they're both wearing winter coats, and so they get inside and they talk about how it's so cold out, but that it was 80 degrees yesterday.
It's cold outside today.
Yeah. Yesterday felt like summer though.
I know, by noon, everyone was in shorts and t-shirts.
Now, I do know that Minnesota has some crazy weather swings.
Yeah, I guess it's possible. But it was just like, again, I'm like, what is the weather for? There's gotta be something to this.
This is where they introduce the hook of the film, basically. This is what made this is basically, when the guy was writing it, this is what made the film interesting.
Yeah. This is the thing that he thought was interesting, is this guy, but he doesn't, but he does, but he doesn't. So the scene that happens is they get in there, and they're talking, and then he has this box on the desk, and he opens it up, and it's clearly a cardboard box.
Hang on. He flips a switch, and it opens up.
Somebody off screen with monofilament pulls the monofilament to pull the top of the box off. And he pulls out these two chips. We never even really get to see them. I think they're just like little clear stickers or something. And he says these chips allow me to see your thoughts.
So the chips help you see like the thoughts that a person has?
Some of the thoughts that the chip's able to interpret. I'll see a basic composition of geometric objects.
Okay.
Yep. Interesting.
I'm just gonna state this for the record. That's amazing that this essentially untested to our knowledge technology is being used for a college student's like
he just came up with it.
Case study?
Yeah, just like his study. He's like, I don't know, I'm doing an experiment with him. You can read minds. Okay. Alright, cool. And then also, I noticed in this location that they're in, which is where they're in most of the rest of the film, is must be right next to a goddamn highway or a main thoroughfare. Because
so many fucking cars.
So much traffic that they try to like clean out, but you can still fucking hear it.
Not at this point.
So then will I be able to see your thoughts too?
You open your eyes. First remove the chip from your temple.
So they put these on and they start they put them on their temples and they start the process.
This is where the money went.
Oh boy, this is supposedly where that $5 million went. And I said, oh shit, we in the computer now, baby. Think of an object. He has her think of an object.
Think of an object.
Any object?
Simple one.
So she starts thinking of things, and we start seeing floating rectangles, cubes. And that's it. And it's minutes of that, and then we see a tube, a cylinder with some rectangles on the outside.
Oh, by the way, that
And
video
every
was
now and then it cuts back to them with their eyes closed.
Sorry.
And then so that happens, and then it cuts back to them. He goes, "What were you thinking?"
Oh, and at this point, oh, by the way, all this dead silent.
Yeah, there's just like nothing going on. It's like, wow, yeah. And I love that he goes, "Think of an object, a simple object."
Any object?
Simple one.
Because we have to do this, we have to create these graphics, and we can't do complicated things. So think of like squares and shit. So she thought, apparently, she says it was a vase or a basket.
I saw a cylinder. Is that what you were picturing?
No, I was picturing a basket.
And it was this weird cylinder with squares on the rectangles on the side. And he goes, "Oh, I can see it. Okay." And then they do it again. And this
I've been using more words than said, okay?
and it's
Also, blah. I do what I want. It's my novel. What have people got against SEDS recently? Holy crap.
And then we get in right after the birds and the flowers. This is when it goes crazy.
This is something that's straight out of a fuck. Like, this is what made me think, alright, this is a fucking horror film now.
Yeah, yeah.
What the fuck just happened?
Yeah. So she imagines a person, but with a crazy face. A crazy face. It's an eyeball. We start on his eyeball, and it's like this weird thing, and then it zooms out to his face, and it's supposed to be Ed, but it's just a amorphous blob person.
This is this guy basically making an unintentional horror shot.
Yes. Oh, it's
in
terrifying.
This film.
That's actually what a lot of this movie, especially around this part, I was like, if I was watching this at night home alone, I'd be kind of scared. Like, this is kind of terrifying. It's because there's like also random shots of what it looked like just whatever serial killer made this movie, like wandering around a warehouse, like filming chairs and random shit, like his home videos. I'm like, this is kind of awful and terrifying.
Feels like a Plinkett review without a
Yeah, yeah, exactly, it does.
My pizza rolls is done. You want some pizza rolls? They're hot and pizza-y and tasty. In fact, it's all I really eat.
But anyways, and so she sees a person stab with an icicle.
with a very narrow cone.
Yeah, a very narrow cone. Stabs Ed in the chest. And then they like open their eyes. And she says, "I've seen this before."
They just appeared out of nowhere. And they're the same people that I saw right before Ed Brown was murdered.
She says, "I like last week or whatever, when I had my eyes closed, I saw."
And this is
Ed
something
get
that
stabbed.
whenever they did this, I was like, all right, is this now supernatural where they have the ability to see the future,
Yeah.
or what has happened?
Yeah, yeah.
They have some sort of prognostication
Or
of some degree.
Yeah, something's going on. Like, this could be interesting. Because, yeah, it starts to take this weird, like, pre-crime, like, she's going to be able to see things, and maybe they're going to turn into a thing where they can stop a killer, which is kind of what they say. Because they say after this, like, oh, well, if you could see Ed getting stabbed, maybe you can see who the next victim's going to be, and we can stop it.
If you can see a murder before it happens, we can do something about the next one.
Yeah, what can I do? I can't do anything.
Well, the police work with psychics to find clues and looking for missing people.
Doesn't work that way.
And no, doesn't work that way. Because none of this is actually happening. Spoilers. None of this means anything because none of this actually happens in the movie.
Shut up, Brian. We need to pad out our review.
I had a glimpse of your last vision. I'd like to see the entire thing. And really look at the clues about the assailant.
Oh, and then so while they go back into the machine, I think. I keep saying the machine, but like into her head.
This is like the Matrix.
I know. They go back into her head, and then we start side cutting to a house. Like a building somewhere, and we start with an opening establishing shot of a refrigerator for like 84 seconds.
They keep cutting between the shot of this actual room.
Yeah.
And then shots of the computer simulated.
Well, her brain thoughts or whatever. Yeah.
Everything builds up to a human figure.
Yeah, and like an actual human. Like this one looks like a sim.
Is he someone?
It's a person, yeah. I see a woman. She's wearing some sort of blouse.
Like from The Sims.
And what I think this was the default character in whatever program
Yeah,
you're using.
like default person A. Blah.
She's in her home. It appears to be very small.
Oh, well, yeah, and they do some, before they get to that, he does some arranging of, he goes, imagine some cubes and arrange them, and they arrange into a question mark. He's like, it's a question mark.
It looks like a hook. Or question mark?
Of course it is!
It doesn't mean anything! And, oh yeah, imagine a flat surface, and then a letter rises out of it.
So, picture a flat surface. Out of the surface, one letter rises.
From the alphabet?
Yes.
And a giant R rises out of it. But we don't, what is that?
See, no, it's those situations that make me think that, like you were saying, you know, all this computer stuff was done after they were done shooting, but it's stuff like that that makes me think that somebody paid them for some, like somebody was like, well, you know, I made this for my graphic design course. Can you find a way to put it in your film? Yeah, I'll do that.
Here's what it made me think, is that, and I actually wrote this down at one point, because apparently, according to the director, they made these graphics after the fact. To me, what it felt like is this guy who made this movie, who's a little, was messing around in like a 3D art or graphics program and made a bunch of random shit. For real. And then said, I can make a movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, drew a bunch of random shapes and shit, and then like the scene where a woman getting stabbed and that sort of thing. He's like, oh, this could be cool. I'm gonna make a movie, and then wrote a movie. That's what it felt like to me when I was watching it. But according to the director, they made the graphics after the fact. I'm not sure I buy that. So then we cutting back forward to the room.
This entire scene of it's a woman being attacked basically.
Yeah.
By the same person who stabbed Ed earlier.
Yeah.
The scene of her throwing cubes against the wall. And then she'd occasionally turn to the side and go, "Man."
I wasn't ready for that. She does though. She really does. Just map. But she's just throwing, and she's throwing things at a person, and he's like, I can't see anybody.
Who else? I don't see anyone.
Because we just see a wall.
Well, yeah, just see a wall. It looks like you throw things at a wall. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Just cubes at a wall. And then, in the most terrifying moment of the whole thing, a fucking crazy guy comes through the wall.
Wait, I see something.
Well, I'm gonna cheat a little and
which is why I thought these were
check my word count right now.
They wanted to show a mystery. They're like, how are we gonna do this? I'll just put a fucking circle in his head.
A spear over his face.
All right.
It's so good. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Oh my god.
What is she doing?
Oh Jesus Christ! And then
But I gotta prove the scene where he's like in the room with her now, and there's a part where she's like throws another cube and pretty much makes that sound again. landing. It'll be alright.
Oh no.
Would you like throw us a cube and it just like rockets off of him?
Oh Jesus. Oh no. Okay.
New challenger approaching.
Holy shit, Spaz!
Yes, I finally got home from work.
Hooray. I'm currently writing right now, and I'm hoping to hit 1667 by the end of... in 13 minutes.
Nice. Looks like we're both booking it, because I'm like up to 17k as well. So, air high five.
I'm only at 10k, actually.
Oh, I thought you said 16k.
No, 1667 as in my daily word count goal.
Oh, okay, shoot, sorry.
Let's see.
Loading up my own documents.
Oh, cool. Now I finally have a guest star.
Yay.
Let's see. Somehow they wiped their asses, saw the toilet paper, and thought, this would make a great movie.
And he goes, Angie, someone left a book on the table. Angie, it looks like someone left a book.
Let's see. Thought this would make a great movie.
Supposedly, this is where this murder is taking place.
Yeah.
But like you said, it doesn't matter.
No.
There's an object. There's some kind of ornament on the door.
Yeah, it's a board. There's a small board on the door.
And then, so they cut back to our guys. They wake up and they're like, "Wow, or not wake up." They open their eyes. They're like, "Oh wow, we just saw a murder." And then one guy goes outside.
I couldn't tell where she was. Charlie didn't have enough detail.
I need to think of, like, a really generic name for a character who would be a pawn in a board game. Hey.
And in the road, there's just cardboard.
Meet our hero. No, wait.
The only words coming to mind are Garrett and Chad.
Garrett! Meet our hero, Garrett.
This is insane person stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's legit. I feel like
A green pawn. From the magical land of Sorry Land. You know what? Why even try to think of creative names when you're doing a fucking a movie for fucking Sorry. Yeah, in this dystopian future this book takes place in, there is a Sorry movie.
Is it produced by like a Jerry Bruckheimer-esque character?
It's produced by Illumination Entertainment.
With music by Pharrell. Because I'm sorry, clap along if you accidentally bumped in another piece. Cause I'm sorry.
Let's just finish the questions and then we'll switch the chips.
Sorry. Okay, that's enough of that.
back into the thing again to finish their questions or whatever. And this guy, I thought he was gonna end up being the killer, her partner dude, which would have been a fun twist because the way he fucking looks at her, like puts the thing on her head, he's like,
Let's see.
It also makes sense with all the schizophrenia stuff they were talking about.
Yeah, I was thinking.
So Garrett is tired of all the
Yeah, well, but she goes under the sea, and we spend like 20 fucking goddamn minutes.
Okay, so it's like
gang warfare.
And then this green block with some
4 cubes in it. Or what the fuck was that?
And he starts by just wanting to get to his home. Or
cone with a cube in it.
Yes.
And then fish. And then we spend 20 goddamn minutes watching this giant rectangle with cubes in it that I don't know what that was supposed to be.
I'm not gonna speculate, but whoever was working with this 3D modeling thing, they didn't know how to change the lighting on
Footage shows a
lighting scheme within the program. So whenever you zoomed in and the thing started moving, the colors started changing.
drive-by shootout.
Was not moving with that.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then while they're doing this, we start getting random cuts of like moseying around. I assume it's supposed to be POV of the killer in their building or whatever, but he's just like walking around looking at chairs. It's fucking terrifying. And then we get random floating rectangles and this weird. And I'm gonna do the fucking CSI research on this. But like we get this weird sound effect over these floating cubes that kind of sounds like backmask speech, like when you run the audio backwards. You know what I mean? It kind of sounds like somebody talking and it's run backwards. Fucking terrifying. And we're just sitting, and I'm like, what is even happening? What is my life right now?
And then the killer eventually comes up to psychology exercise, which
Yeah.
is what he basically put on the door to their room to signify where she needs to be.
Yeah.
So we know that the killer is now outside the door.
Yeah, that's right. Holy shit, the murderer!
Right now, I'm currently designing the scene where our love interests meet. Well, the first time in the story, they met before, but they like barely know each other. This is where they finally realize, oh hey, we're both interested in the world before it got blown to smithereens.
Oh, so you're making it a true sequel to Virgin Killer Club.
Yep. Actually, like I said, the jumping off for Across the Isolation was, what would the kid of the main characters of Virgin Killer Club, like, what would the society he grew up in be like? And then I took it a step further, and another step further, and 50 million steps further, and I ended up with a post-apocalyptic tale.
So he's a ghost now?
And now for 15 minutes.
Oh, this scene.
15 minutes.
This fucking scene.
We deal with fishing line, basically,
Yes.
that is attached to object.
Of our two main characters in a room with a ghost. And now it's so weird because we just saw...
Alrighty, I need a generic girl's name for the obligatory love interest.
Susie Q.
Susie Q.
But then he's not a guy, he's a ghost or something. And then so he's walking around in the room knocking things over. And they're like running away, and then they randomly occasionally get like sliced on the arm by his ghost knife. But then, and they can't open the door because it's locked or something. And then, but so they literally, like you said, it's 15 minutes of them just like a wide shot of them, and they like look around. And then something falls open, and they're like, oh no.
but it all culminates to Matt waking up and being like, oh, I was asleep this whole time.
Matt? You okay?
I was having a terrible dream.
That's what happens. It was a dream.
I was asleep this whole time.
It was all a dream. Everything for the last 30 minutes of this movie.
Do.
Was a dream. The chips don't exist. The murderer ghosty thing wasn't a thing.
I think the chips do.
No,
Okay.
because what he did, he fell asleep reading a study about the idea of making those chips.
Sorry I'm late. I'm in a discussion with Professor number 7.
There's a cut to him holding a piece of paper, and it says something like, brain chips could let you read other
If
people's
I'm to get
thoughts.
this right, the entire hook of this movie
Doesn't
non-existent.
Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. The hook then becomes.
Mark.
The hook then becomes ghosts exist? Question mark? like what?
Well, they hear something outside.
Yeah.
And there is an actual dude stabbing people.
They hear a noise outside. There's a guy just sitting over a corpse.
Now, for the record, he's demanding the lab access code.
I was trying to get into the lab. There are 6 digits to the access code. Now, what are the last digits to the access code?
Yeah. He's over this corpse saying, "What's the rest of the access code?" Stab. This was working earlier. Why aren't you telling me things?
They do start doing, because then they just start doing a questionnaire before they hear the sound, and I love, this is a little thing, but before they hear the sound and go out there, they start resuming, and what they're actually doing is just like a weird questionnaire where she's just like asking them questions. And one of her questions is so great. She goes, if you had 2 wishes, and you could change any event from your timeline of your life in the past 48 hours, what would you do?
Right now, more wishes.
Well, she says change anything you did in the last 48 hours, what would you change? Not like...
So you're given a wish. You can change 2 events within the last 48 hours of your personal schedule. What would you change?
Well, right now I get wishes. I would get more wishes right now.
Yeah, got it. But his idea is, well, I was kind of tired.
Give me a second. Be right back.
So I think I would have went to bed earlier.
Oh.
Time's up.
Bing, time's up. Alright, so I think I'm gonna slap down my word count. Hope for the best. 1747. Ugh.
Okay, 1, that was the worst wish ever. 2, you get another fucking wish, asshole. He doesn't ever say the second.
Repeat that.
Alright. I hit my quota. I am torn between staying and chatting or like staying and writing and just leaving. What do you think?
Get a little extra.
Okay, I'll get a little extra. For the fine no one watching. Oh.
It's archived.
Yeah, it's archived. Anyway, Spastic is here. Now the stream is funny again, I guess.
Matt Damon.
I really don't like the Matt Damon jokes because like he did an amazing performance in Dogma, okay?
Yeah.
But anyway, now that I'm readjusting because I'm usually filming this in my living room, which I live with 2 other people and one of them is goofing around right now and hopefully no one can hear her. Can you?
I can't hear her.
Alright. Also, I gotta, like, change the text here. Word count. What's my current word count? 10753. Hooray. I really cut to the chase here, but skip to the part where Garrett and Susie Q pray to the players. And Pearl's like, and actually gives like a legitimate like complaint about how she had to sit down and explain to her children like the elaborate BS that they just watched. It's like, can you imagine the conversation I had to give to my kids who watched this alongside me? No, really, you can't. I had trouble imagining it, and I gave the lecture. So, any good listening to music for writing?
It depends on the genre.
I'm writing a comedy.
I always listen to ska when I write comedy stuff. Let's see. Real Big Fish, Less Than Jake, 5 Iron Frenzy. They always have like 3 words in them.
Would it bother you if I watched TV?
No, it wouldn't.
Okay.
If anything, I can just move upstairs if it bothers me that much.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm having to share an apartment with someone.
Yeah, that's okay.
Anyway, as for me, I just listen to like whatever isn't distracting, like good, like background music. Because like I made the mistake of listening to one of the deeper works in the oeuvre of a Mr. Nump. You might not have heard of him by name, but I think you know of a particular song he did. I listened to his song called I'm So Hungover, and it slapped, and I couldn't concentrate on writing because I was too busy white guy dancing to it.
Okay, I gotcha.
So I gotta listen to something that isn't that while writing.
Alrighty. Because personally, for the story I'm writing, I'm listening to really low-key stuff like the Portal soundtrack.
The Portal soundtrack sounds good. But I'm just straight up like listening to dumb crap. Like at one point, I listened to on stream Watch for Rolling Rocks and 0.5 Hair Pierces because I needed something signature in the background.
If you want something you can also play on stream, the Tetrasphere soundtrack is always good.
Tetrasphere.
You ever heard of Tetrasphere?
Never.
It is an N64 game where it's you have all the Tetris pieces on a sphere, and the object is to clear all the pieces. But it has one of the best soundtracks for an N64 game ever. Let me get a song for you. Let me link it. Let's see.
I already looked it up, and like I gotta move because it's getting too loud down here.
Okay.
BRB. Whoa, I'm doing a real life film. Watch a Dalgama 95. This is rawer than raw. Sorry, I'm on webcam too.
Alright.
Are you familiar with Dalgama 95?
Yes, I am. It's originally developed by, I guess, Lars von Trier and his cronies or something like that. And the object is to use nothing but handheld cameras, nothing but diegetic sound, make stories that are like low key and all that. And the whole idea is to make it super realistic.
Alrighty, now that I'm on my bed, which is a terrible practice for aspiring nano-writers, to never write inside of a bed, especially not on a bed. Professional. Ooh, I could use another warning label because I already got 4 on here. Right here. Add. Image. Warning. Do not. No, this isn't what I want. Shit. Pictures. Warning labels. Now, do attempt to write, just don't attempt to write on a bed.
I've written on a bed before. What's so wrong about it?
You'll want to go to bed. As in, you'll want to sleep. And falling asleep is going to make this a one-sided fight. Wait a minute. Maybe I could listen to something really, really dumb. Let's see. Pokemon Stadium announcer. Over 350. Let's do this. When we get back to writing, but I'm still on my Pomodoro break. So nothing of the sort right now. Not for another 7 minutes or so. But yeah, I Sorry, I'm trying not to fall asleep. Okay, yeah, this is bad practice. I think I'm gonna call it a day because it isn't a very exciting stream, but whatever.
Alrighty, I'll see if I can get home sooner. Late day at work today.
And stream yourself?
I'll join you on stream, but I'm tempted to stream myself because unlike last year's, this is actually safe for work.
Alright, cool. Because I think I'm just gonna hop off right now. Like,
alrighty.
At least stop streaming right now, so see y'all tomorrow. Wink.
See you later.